Welcome back. I'm Bill Donath. I'm president of the Logan County Genealogical and Historical Society. And we're up to August 22nd now, and there's some camp correspondence from Philo Conklin. It's a little shorter letter than we had in the last camp correspondence. Hospital Camp Defiance, so they're back at Cairo. Like I said, they didn't stay at Camp Jesse for very long at Mountain City. So, Hospital Camp Defiance, August 11th, 1861. Mr. Editors, a victim of an attack of bilious fever, I have to date this letter from the hospital, where I've been enjoying myself for the past 5 days. But thanks to our worthy surgeon, Dr. Metcalf, and his assistant, Dr. Hamilton, I am nearly well now and hope to be in a few days to enter upon my duties again. Another of our company, George W. Bullard, has also been under the doctor's care here. He was very sick for 1 or 2 days, but is improving finely now. The rest of the in spirits, anxious for the order to march. Quite an excitement was created in camp last Thursday night by 2 flatboats attempting to elude the blockade by floating down silently under cover of the darkness of the Kentucky shore. Well, so they were coming down the Ohio River, not the Mississippi, like I led you to believe in the last video. They had already passed the first battery and were nearly to the second when Colonel Cook, who happened to be in the front of the St. Charles, discovered them. He immediately went to the battery and ordered the cannoneers to fire upon them, which they did, but without effect, owing to the darkness. Colonel Cook then went on board the government boat B, had her steamed up, and started in pursuit. They overhauled the flatboats about 5 miles below and boarded them. The owners had left in small boats, forgetting a nice warm supper which they had prepared. The boats were tied up to the shore, well guarded, and the next morning brought back to Cairo. Had it not been for Colonel Cook, they would have landed their valuable cargoes in Memphis ere this. As it is, some of the red tape men did wrong in doing as he did. He ought to have hunted up the proper officers and left the matter in their hands. His reply to one of these gentlemen was that when it was required to do anything immediately, instead of looking around for the officers who were absent from their post, he did it himself. We occupy much better quarters here now than when we were here before. The boys are suited with them, and if it is not for the extreme heat of the weather, we would get along just fine. These warm days we feel, to use an expression of Ab Leslie's, as though we hadn't the strength. Since I have commenced writing, Samuel Walker, a member of our company, has been brought into the hospital. Dr. Hamilton promises to send him back to the camp cured in 3 days. Yours truly, PHC. Now we have several items of local matters, mostly about recruiting and what's happening with that effort. And this again was in the 22nd of August, Lincoln Herald. Those who wish to join the Independent Cavalry Company, now forming, will call in Franklin Fisk's office. Now, they say this is an independent cavalry company, but it will be part of the 4th Cavalry. There are no parties in Logan County. The men who tried to oppose the war with their party have wiped themselves out of the party they sought to form. The rifle company, being formed by B.F. Smith and James McGraw, is rapidly filling up. We learn that this company is designated for special service and goes immediately to Washington. On the 29th of August, we have more local matters. Philo H. Conklin, our war correspondent, is also writing for the Boston Herald. So he's gotten himself a job as well as writing to the Herald. He's doing the Boston paper. Dr. Beadler will address the citizens of 2 Mile Grove next Tuesday evening. Cairo, August 27th. 60 rebels mounted and well equipped within 5 miles of Bird's Point captured 1 Federal scout and 3 horses this morning. We are informed that on Tuesday last, the Illinois 7th moved forward from Ironton, 30 miles towards New Madrid. We may look for warm work before long. They were at Cairo, and then they all of a sudden are past Ironton, Missouri, which is well below St. Louis, and they're working on their going towards New Madrid. We learn that our esteemed and talented young friend William P. Callan, Esquire, has enlisted for the war. Honor and victory and 1,000 wishes of success go with him. James J. Seawright has been elected captain of the Ellsworth Guards. A few more men are wanted to fill up the company. Applied at Seawright's grocery store. All the soldiers at Lawndale belonging to the company forming by Thomas Bell and William Hogan will meet for drill on Saturday at 1 o'clock at the above place by order of William Hogan, the drill sergeant. The cavalry company of which Dr. Wimple of Mount Pulaski is to be captain is rapidly filling up. The chance is an excellent one for those who desire to enlist. The government furnishes horses and all equipments. Ordered forward, we learned last evening by a gentleman from Springfield that all companies at Camp Butler, provided with arms, have been ordered to Cairo and points in Missouri. Other companies will march as soon as they receive the implements of battle. Union meetings. Dr. Beadler will speak on the crisis in H.B. Stevenson's neighborhood on Prairie Creek this Thursday evening at Music's on Salt Creek School on Friday evening and at Evans School House on Saturday evening. Let all unconditional Union men attend. The doctor ignores party and comes out flatly and squarely for his country. His speech at Broadwell last week was highly commended. Our Irish citizens are rallying in defense of the country. Thomas Bell of Lincoln and William Hogan of Lawndale are rapidly organizing a splendid fighting company. They will be hardy, brave, and well-drilled to commence service, most of them having served a 7 years drill in their country. Mr. Bell was formerly a member of the gallant New York 68th. All honor to the loyal Irish boys. When on the battlefield, they will remain. And we have a camp correspondence letter from Philo Conklin at Camp Fremont, Ironton, Missouri, August 23rd, 1861. So they're moving even farther south. Once more, able to be with my regiment, I will try and give you our adventures for the past 2 weeks, which to us have been rather exciting. On the 15th, the regiment left Cairo for Sulphur Springs, 30 miles below St. Louis, on the Mississippi River and the Iron Mountain Railroad. We remained there until last night at 9 o'clock, waiting for our new guns and uniforms. Colonel Cook went to St. Louis to hurry the matters, but in spite of all that he could do, he could not be supplied until next Monday. As our quarters at Sulphur Springs were very uncomfortable, the whole regiment being crowded on one small steamboat, and we were much needed here, orders were given to leave at the time above mentioned. It was a beautiful moonlight night. and we glided over the Iron Mountain Railroad. The wild and magnificent scenery, the deep rock cuts into which the rays of the moon did not penetrate, added to the fact that we were fairly launched into the enemy's country and were liable at any moment to be fired into, banished sleep from most eyes. We arrived at Pilot Knob, the terminus of the road, about daylight this morning. Any description of the stupendous scenery to be seen here would from me fall very short of doing justice to the subject. The place takes its name from a high mountain of iron ore, which it is said is in clear days can be seen from St. Louis. A flag still has been ordered, as the Stars and Stripes had not floated from that point like lately. Captain Holden sent a party from our company with our flag to raise it on the staff. As the little party clambered up the steep mountainside, they were watched with eager eyes, and soon our flag, which we brought with us from Lincoln, floated from the dizzy summit. Cheer after cheer rose from the regiment as they beheld their ensigns streaming almost midway between heaven and earth. After breakfast, we were agreeably surprised to receive a visit from Brigadier General Prentice. He informed us that he is to be our commander, and that while he held the position, the 7th Regiment would always hold the post of honor, and that after Monday, the Illinois soldiers would be together, and then he would lead us on to meet General Philo, who is entrenched at a place some 30 miles southwest of here. And he assured us that if we did our duty, onward march would not be stayed until we reached New Madrid. About 9 o'clock, we set out on our march for this place, 2 miles from Pilot Knob. We are encamped in a large, spacious tents on the right of the 2nd Iowa Regiment. This is a beautiful place, nestled among lofty hills, but black with secessionism. There are but 3 Union men in the place, which is nearly as large as Lincoln. Quite a number of bands of secessionists are within a short distance of here, under the command of Hardee, Jeff Thompson, and others. The Union troops number about 5,000 here, and in the vicinity our whole company is detailed for picket guard, tomorrow and tomorrow night. It is probable, as we have been informed, that we may have a brush with some of the roving bands. I will write to you as soon as we return, provided in case of a fight I am one of the fortunate ones. I have already written more than I intended, and the sentinel's cry of 12 o'clock warns me to close. Deep silence reigns throughout the camp, and from no tent but my own does a light gleam. Hearty wish for the success of our brethren. I remain yours, PHC.